Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
So, just give me a couple of minutes more to start the session, okay? So, today we will be seeing informed consent form and protocol designing. Okay, any doubt from the previous session?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start with informed consent form. Okay, this let me share you my screen. Okay, so this informed consent process was evolved from whatever the trial was done in the history. Okay, so same mistake should not be happen. For that, informed consent term came into evolved in the history when this World War after this World War II. Okay, the Nuremberg Code trial was done. Okay, there was doctor's trial. After that, Nuremberg Code has they have established in 1947. So they have termed ki yes, in the medical research, there should be no forceful act. They should be autonomous to the subject. So there was certain concern arises. So one of the parameter was informed consent. Informed consent means we have to inform the subject about the nature of the study, what his willingness to participate in the study. Anytime he can withdraw from the study. Okay, such thing we have taken into the consideration. What are the risk and benefit assessment we have to do when we conduct any clinical trial, right? We have to conduct animal trial prior to this human trial, okay, to test the safety and efficacy of the drug. Okay, so what is informed consent? So it is a process which involved all the relevant information to the patient. So we have to give all the relevant information to the patient who are involved in the research. Okay, they understand the information and then they provide their volunteerness, their willingness to agree to participate in the trial. So it is also their basic right. Okay, so in biomedical research, the guideline for informed consent is being there in all the form. In from 1947, it is there. Okay, so we have seen the Nuremberg Code of Trial. Okay, then we have seen Declaration of Helsinki, in which all the physicians from all over the world they have come together and they have made a certain parameters. When we do any kind of research or any kind of analysis we do, whether it is scientific research or any kind of clinical trials, so there should be a consent should be there. Ethical practice we have to follow. Okay, so DOH concept is what we have to follow ethical things when we conduct any kind of research related to humans. Okay, the safety well-being of a subject, we have to inform them, their willingness, their autonomous is important. Okay, means they should have a respect. Okay, we should have a respect for persons willingness ki yes, we are, their dignity and their autonomy is being protected. So these all things have been involved in Declaration of Helsinki, ki how we are doing medical research. Any kind of medical practitioner should follow certain ethical practices in conducting any kind of practices, any kind of research. Okay. Then there was a Belmont report in 1979, which was after the syphilis study, which was outbreak in US. Okay, so the syphilis study was conducted. We have seen that after this Belmont report was published, in that there were the three parameters which has to be followed. That is, first is the respect for person. So same autonomy and dignity of an individual and their needs to protect those diminished autonomy, means who are vulnerable subjects. We have to protect uh, their autonomy, which is such as children, aged people, or elderly people, or disabled people. Okay, we have to protect them. We have to respect their dignity and autonomy. Then second was their beneficence. Beneficence means an obligation to protect person from harm by maximizing the benefit and minimizing the risk. Okay. Then next last was justice. So there should be fair distribution of benefit and burden of research. When we conduct a research, we cannot force anyone, or we cannot do some atrocity to person who is easily available. Okay, so the Belmont report explain how this application is applied to a research practice. For example, it identifies informed consent as a process that is essential to the principle of respect. Okay, so in this respect means we are giving all the information to the patient, and we are expecting ki yes, their willingness is important. Okay, so after this Belmont report, many people, means many countries like US Health Department and US Food Drug Administration, they revise their regulations on resource study and that involve human participants. Okay, they have applied, they have followed these ethical guidelines and regulations that evolved over the years from various regions, from various countries, and various country adopted this ethical principle for biomedical research, right? Then we have seen ICH-GCP. So this was the result of like ICH-GCP is a guideline which is followed over the world. Okay, so basically how the clinical research has to be done, what is the responsibility of whom, and how we can, in a better way, we can do the research is the main principle of a good clinical practice. Okay, so there is a ICH. ICH is a basically international conference or harmonization. So in there are six member committees, six representative countries. They have come together and they have made certain guidelines ki wherever the research is involved. Because see, Japan, US, and this European country, they were the members where the clinical trial was conducted, and over there we go and whenever we want to manufacture any drug or we want to sell any drug in European country or US market, so there should be some standardization in the guideline. Okay, so when there is a standardization in the guideline, so they will accept our drug. So it will be better for two-way communication or two-way transportation regards to finance or regards to the healthcare finance, everything. Okay, so this ICH GCP main principle is to protect how the well-being of a subject, how you can minimize the risk. So it will cover everything, standardization of the clinical practices. Okay. Then ICMR. ICMR is what? Our Indian Council for Medical Research. So it also came with the ethical guidelines for conducting biomedical research. So they have adopted the guidelines, means the DOH and the components of Belmont report. They drive the ethical guidelines, or they drive these guidelines. Okay. So ICMR guideline is basically related to the ethics, how we are going to follow the ethical practices in clinical research or medical research. Okay. So whatever the guidelines India has, it is somewhere or the other, it is adopted from US FDA, somewhere from the ICGCP, somewhere from the DOH, somewhere from the Belmont report. Okay, because we need to get a good quality data. We want to maintain the quality in the system, right? So moving ahead, any question till here? So this thing we have already done, except ICMR. We'll see that ICMR what it is. So It is an ethical guideline for the research involving human ethical guideline for biomedical research on human subject. So it was done in 2000. In the year 2000, this was published, ICMR guidelines. On the basis of that, we started conducting our clinical trial. Okay. So according to ICMR guidelines, informed consent is important. So they say that yes, participation must be voluntary. So they have their own autonomy when they conduct. They want to participate in the trial. Subject want to participate in the trial. Participant must have fully apprised of the research. Means they have to get a full knowledge ki what is the research, and they should get benefit out of it. Okay. It is a duty of investigator कि he should convey, he should give all the information regards to the research related thing. Whatever the question they ask, they have to provide the suitable answers. Okay. For that, they are has to be trained with the particular indications. They have to get knowledge about how to counsel the subject. Okay. So such things are involved when we say about the investigator must obtain informed consent. Okay. Assent be obtained where possible for minor. Assent means you if there is a minor, some kids who want you want to conduct a study, so you have to get the permission from their LAR. LAR is what? Your legally acceptable representative, their parents, their guardians. Okay. Now, requirement for consent can be waived by an ethics committee if the risk is minimal. So, in what all conditions the waivers means you can inform consent is not necessary. Like if the risk is very minimum, so for that you have to provide all the data to the ethics committee. Based on that, they provide yes, you can go ahead. Okay, or for the collecting data from subject records. So some you go for the informed consent process. You have you take some analysis, you take the information like what is the age, what disease they have, if they take some medicine. So these are all data. Some data we have to collect. We have to get a knowledge about history of the patient. Okay, so that but some data you can use for the research purpose. If okay, for the future references you can use that data. So these are certain waivers we can apply when we conduct a research. Okay, because waivers without waivers you cannot conduct any research. Okay, waivers has to be there. Any questions? Hello.
No, ma'am.
No questions? Okay. Am I too fast or it is okay? You're understanding.
Yes, ma'am.
Understanding. No? Okay. So summary of guideline are all relevant information should be provided to the subject. Ascertaining they understand what is their participant means to them. We have to make them understand why their participation is important. Okay, we have to educate them in that. Okay, so voluntarily consent. So there should be no forceful. They should you should have a willingness to give a consent. There should be no forceful. You know, you have to go and conduct the trial, or you can lure them with the money and everything. You cannot do that. Okay, protecting vulnerable subject with additional safeguard. Additional safeguard means if some vulnerable subject want to participate in the trial. Okay, so there has to be like we have in India we they have to undergo some audio and visual recording. Okay, there this informed consent so done under the audio and visual recording, and their data is being reviewed when they are under the trial. So all the data is being reviewed by the ethics committee once a year. So informed consent, they have various terms. So some there is you will find out patient information sheet or PIS. Okay. So they provide all the information over there. The patient information we take, the age, the height, the gender, or some extra data like we have taken a patient for the study. So we will be seeing yes, what medication he was taking. Okay, what reaction he's have with the particular drugs, if any reaction he have with the environment, with the food. So all the data we take from the patient. Okay, so all the information is being preserved in the patient information sheet, so that in case for the future reference you require to have a study for the study, you can use the data. Okay, for that informed consent is not needed. Then informed consent form. So this is a document basically where all the requirements, like it is a checklist kind of, I'll show you that. So in that they will sign, the sponsor signature will be there, the signature of this person, like who is giving the consent, his signature will be there. Okay, then they can undergo into the trial. Okay, so both integrated to one documented called informed consent form. Together they make an informed consent form. Now, what is informed consent? So, informed consent is a consent given by a competent individual. See, some in interview they ask you what is informed consent. Okay, so you should know ki what is informed consent. It is a consent given by a competent individual who have received the necessary information, who has adequately understood the information. Okay, so informed consent, you can say, people who understands, or he have the willingness to participate in the study, just not by signing the form you can say ki, yes, he is willing. You have to provide all the information to subject, and you have to check if he is willing to participate or not. Okay, so study subject must understand the purpose, the procedures, the potential risk, benefit, their involvement, why their involvement is important, and their alternative to participants participation, curious what we can do, what compensation we'll get. Everything has to be explained to them. While consenting document that give this information and more, like whatever the process they want, whatever the knowledge they want, we have to discuss. If they have any questions or any query regards to the trial, so it is the responsibility of research team member to provide all the necessary information to the participants. Okay. In addition to this, the prospective subject uh, requires any time to think. Yes, he will say, ki, no, I am required to think, and then I will decide. So their decisions and discussions, we have to give the time for that. Okay, so because it is necessary, he will go and he will consult with his family members, with friends. Some will go with the religious. They will have, okay, sentiments of the religious guru. They can go, some legal advisor they can go. Okay, then only based on that they will make their mind, yes, it is like it is okay to be the participant for the trial or not. Okay, investigator have to understand that information, this informed consent is not just signing the process. We have to educate the prospective subjects. We have to make him understand ki why the his participation means to us, what is it is mean to us. Okay, we have to explain, all everything has to be done. So the informed consent process should provide the study subjects with all the ongoing explanations that will help him or her to get educated and continue to participate in the trial. Okay, if any new information is there when the study subject, they are undergoing the trial, if there is any new information about the possibility of effects or possibility of side effects, whether it is good or bad, it is the responsibility of research in the team to uh, make him understand, provide all the information. Okay, so it is an ongoing process. It is not a process ki, yes, it is one day process, they have signed now, we don't have to give any information. If there is a changes to it, so potentially affect, everything has to be told to that participants. Okay, if this could be the effect, so this has been changed and this could be the effect. Okay, so even so what happened is based on that, sometimes they drop out from the study, sometimes they think, okay, I can continue with the study. Okay, so it is an opportunity, or you can say concern, rising concern ki, yes, they, if they ask the question, we have to tell, we don't have to hide or we don't have to fabricate the data. So it is of, you can say, communication process, or you can say interactive process, rather than one time providing the information. Okay, so after providing everything, they should be like, they have understood the information, now they can arrive to their decision. So there should be no kind forceful act should be there, the coercion we say, or undue influence or inducement or intimidation. No such thing should be there ki, yes, you are forcing the subject for the trial, or you are giving some alluring something on that terms. Okay, understood? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, informed consent is a communication process or interactive process. It is not one-time process, okay, between the researchers and the participants. It starts before the research is initiated and continue through the duration of the study. Okay, it is a communication process because if there is any changes, we have to communicate it to the subject. Okay? So it is a continuous process. So information in informed consent is provided in writing. So whatever the language, like in India, we have various local languages. Okay. So subject who cannot read or understand or comprehend language like Hindi or English, you have to give them opportunity to, yes, the informed consent is written in their local language also. Okay. Local language means if they are conducting some study in the south. So in Tamil or Telugu, it is Telugu or some Malayalam, it will be written. We have to explain them in that language. Okay. So that they can understand, they can interpret it, and they can relate ki what it is the study is all about. Okay. Consent must be in the language the subject understand. So now it is the responsibility of clinical investigator, preferably a senior person who has experience in this counseling and his clinical trial. Yes, what happened? Hello. Okay, so it is a responsibility of clinical investigator, preferably a senior or experienced person who have a experience or he have been trained for counseling to counsel the subject and explain him all the obligations regards to the trial. Okay. Now, process of informed consent. So it starts before the screening. So when you have certain database, okay, based on them, you will select the people like you are going to conduct a study on the osteoporosis, suppose. Okay, you know ki what factor, you will be calling the patient. You have a list of the subject. Okay, so now the investigator will counsel them each and every one, and this informed consent process will continue on that. Okay. After this, once the informed consent, 200 people have been undergone into the informed consent process, now it is time to screen. So screening will be like they we have certain inclusion criteria, certain exclusion criteria, like we have to take female for 40 years, we have to take gender like female, we have to take, and we have to take a 40-year female. Okay, so our socioeconomic condition, based on that you have to take. So certain criteria is there, based on that you will be including them in the study. Okay, so it start before the screening of the participant in the trial. Okay. Now, nature of the research. So it explicitly states that it is a research, not a practice, not like a, some medication we are giving. You have full proven research we have done. It is not like it is a kind of research. It is we are analyzing certain things. Okay. Now, how subject will be recruited? So we should make a plan. Ki yes, so how we are going to recruit the subject, how we are going to conduct this informed consent process. So there are certain recruitment plans we have to make. Okay, so how you can recruit the patient? Any idea? Yes, anything you can say, whatever is coming in your mind. How you can recruit the subject in the study? Yes, say anything. No idea. Hello, are you listening to me? Say something, anything you can say. How you will recruit a subject in your study? What process you will follow if you will be there in the investigator place or sponsor place? what plan you will make to recruit the subject. Yes, they can come for the study, right? See, we have there is a system called this investigator database. So whatever the investigator, whoever is conducting the research, they will have a database. They will have certain things in their hands. Okay, like they know what patient is will be the target. They have their own database. Okay, that could be the target population from where they can get a subject, right? Or they can refer to some other clinician who have certain kind of patient who comes to them. Okay, they can use their data also, or you can say ki, yes, some camps are being organized. Okay, through the via camp you can recruit the subject. Okay, you can give the information ki, yes, you have this is we are doing some certain research, so you can come for the trial. Okay, from there you can get a database, or you can have a call centers. Okay, there are the call centers. They know ki from where they can get a target subject from that for the study. Okay, or newspaper ad, or some this email shots. Okay, so these are the process to get recruited the subjects, how we can recruit the subjects. So before making a plan ki, yes, this is the way I am going to recruit the patient, you have to get approval from ethics committee also. Okay, now purpose and aim of research should be very clear ki what is the purpose, why we are going to conduct the study. For that we have this protocol written. Investigator name and their credentials has to be preserved. Okay, in this process, what must subject know? Now we say ki yes, subject should provide the information. So what he should know? He should know about the trial treatment. Ki what treatment could be I assigned, like it is test drug or placebo, test drug or active comparator, or investigational product, or at different doses. Okay, so we have to provide the information to the subject, what is trial all about. Okay, then we have to explain them that it will be a random assigning of a treatment. Okay, it is not you will only get the placebo, we have to get a randomly we will give you the drugs to the patient. Okay, this random selection will be done either by picking up the cards, or picking up the sheets. Now, flipping of coin is not possible in large group of patients, but drawing a card or picking up the chits is possible. So this way, you can randomly assign a subject into different treatment group. Okay, this will reduce the chance of biasness. Okay, so and it will give an equal opportunity or equal chance for every participant to get allocated into a different group of treatment. Okay, so this way we do the randomization, and we explain everything to the subject. Okay. Now, study procedure. So, what is subject involvement? He should know, okay, yes, why you are involved in the trial. What is your importance? It has to be explained to him. Duration of study should be told. Explain about the sample collection. So it is not just the name we are going to tell them. We have to tell ki what is the what sample we are going to collect. Okay, we have to explain about it into their language, which is understandable to them in the simple way. Procedure, which are research and experiment. So there are the procedures for the observational study, there are the procedures for the experimental study. So we have to follow that procedures. If treatment, like experimental drugs has been given to the some patient, we have to explain him ki how it is different from the conventional one or from the standard one. Or suppose he is going to some surgical method, some new surgical method has been involved, so we have to explain them ki how it is different from the conventional treatment. Okay. Then randomization and blinding has to be explained to them. So whatever type of blinding, it is single blind, double blind, triple blind. So everything has to be explained to him. Okay. Number of subjects in the study is predetermined. Yes, we have 50 people we are going to take for the study, or 100. Potential risk benefit as means what will be the potential benefit, what will be the possible risk, everything has to be explained to the subject. Okay. Then based on this information, participants voluntarily he agree for the trial. Okay, you have to explain it is your wish you want to continue with the trial or not. Okay, they can withdraw anytime from the study. So this is also told to them. And there will be, if you withdraw, there will be no penalty to you and to your legally acceptable representative. Okay, or there will be no kind of legal actions we will take. You have to explain everything to the participants. Okay, if there is any kind ki yes we have to terminate the study, premature termination is there, if the side effect is more or data is not sufficient, so any reasons we are terminating the study, so it has to be explained to the subject. Okay, you have to convey to the subject. If they have any query, any question during the course of a trial regards to the risk or anything, we have to explain, it's their right, we have to tell them. Okay, so it is said ki from the beginning of the trial it goes on. Okay, this communication process. The language which we use should be simple and it should be clear. No technical language should be there when we explain to the subject. Sufficient time should be given to them to make their decision. Everything has to be given into the written information has to be provided. If there is some short forms or any kind of words are there, it has to be explained them in written and verbal. Thumb impression is allowed, all signatures are allowed with date. So this is what we do into the informed consent. Okay. Privacy and confidentiality. So we have to make them assure your privacy and confidentiality of your report, your data, yours, everything will be protected. Okay. Monitor, auditor, assessor, IRB, regulatory body, they have direct access to the source document without violating the confidentiality of the subject. Okay. So such things has to be permitted and subject authorize such access by signing the consent form. Okay, we have to tell them that these people will have an access but they will not hamper your confidentiality. Okay, publication identification will also remain the confidentiality. Okay, now waivers of informed consent. So when the risk is minimum, the waivers is possible. Right welfare of participants should be protected when we waived of this. Okay, so in emergency situation, you have to waive of the informed consent process because there will be no sufficient time to obtain the informed consent from the subject or the LAR. Okay, the investigator have to determine or review by some another physician who is independent of the research, or you can say from the ethics committee. Okay, ethics committee, there is a member who is expert with the particular indication. So it is the investigator duty ki he have to review everything. Okay, so investigator will get a written certificate of the following, like whatever he will get, like subject is facing any life threatening conditions. Okay, so hence it is necessary to use the investigation product. Okay, so life threatening or some chronic infection, so it is very emergency conditions, so they can use this investigation product. Okay, or you can say informed consent cannot be obtained due to inability to communicate with the subject or obtain a legally efficient consent from the subject. Okay, some consent, like he is not there, someone is not there for him to give a consent on behalf of it. So if the risk is minimum, a situation is like deteriorating situation, so that time the best decision should be taken by investigator to give the drug. Okay, if there is no alternate method for any kind of therapies or any kind of treatment and we want to save the patient, then we can waive off the informed consent process. Okay, so there are certain situations, certain things which has to be arising when we do the clinical research, when it will be not be possible for us to go under the informed consent, so we can waive off. But thing is that every investigation product or has to determine their data, it has to be evaluated, it has to be reviewed, and it has to be submitted to IRB within 5 working days of the use of the investigation product. Then only they can do such kind of activities. Okay, So this is all how we waive off the informed consent. Any question till here? No? Okay. So summary of informed consent is not just a moral requirement. It is a legal requirement also. It is just not moral, not just a legal requirement. Okay. It is legally also we will be correct if we go through the informed consent. Comprehensively, essentially, because it is essential ki yes, we have to provide information. Okay, because they are giving us whatever the patient they believe a doctor. Okay, they are considering the doctor as a god. So it is essential for us we have to provide all the medical care, all the information we have to provide. We have to respect their cultural influences also. Okay, so we say ki yes, we have to give the time so that they can talk to their near and dear ones. Okay, they can talk to their religious people. Okay, and then they can take their decision. Okay, so cultural influences can be also there. So such influences should not be there. So they should not come into that influences. So we have to give them time to think. Okay, support information always helpful. Okay, so we take the patient information sheet, we take the data from there. Pre-testing is allowed. Okay, when we involve the subject for the trial, we have to do some testing. Okay, then only we will able to identify inclusion and exclusion criteria. There should be no forceful act, so they should be free from coercion. Okay, so this is the format for subject participation in the clinical trial. Okay, so here you can see the initial boxes, check boxes. Okay, after giving the all the information, they will tick mark over this. Okay, and then signature of investigator, signature of this legally acceptable representative, witness. Okay, everything should be signed and dated. So this is how we go through the informed consent. Okay. Now in exams, they may ask you ki what are the process in this, but what happened in interview, they will ask you what is informed consent. So you should able to explain the interviewer ki what is the informed consent. Okay. So some questions are very basics. Okay. So you should know that. Any question in this? Informed consent related any questions? Then we will go ahead with the protocol design. Don't leave the meeting. We have protocol design also. Some people are leaving the meeting. Any questions? Shall we move ahead? Yes? Okay, okay. Now what we'll see what is protocol. So what is
Yes, ma'am.
protocol? Any idea? Yes. What is protocol?
For any trials we are going to perform.
Yes. What it is? Any? See, a protocol is you can say a document that explicitly states that the reason behind or structure of the research project. Okay, in colleges we used to make a file, right, for the experiments and everything. Okay, now how they will know ki yes, you have conducted your experiment as per the given things. There are some certain you can say contents over there, right, in which there will be aim, what experiment is you are going to see conduct, what will be the observations, what are the statistical parameters, what are the results, inference. Okay, so such contents are there in that. Do you remember? Yes or no? When we go
Yes,
in,
ma'am.
remember na? So similarly when we if you are a sponsor, suppose, okay, now it's your like product. Okay, now any kind of medical device you have, any kind of product you have. Okay, so you require to undergo certain kind of you want, yes, your product should get tested. Okay, now what you required, you cannot randomly go with the product. You have to have certain documents you should have, right, which will support, which will be everything will be there in this explain key what is the structure of research project. So it should be well designed. First of all, your trial requires a protocol which should be well designed. It is a written mechanism which describe the clinical trial design. Ki what kind of design are going to implement. Okay, design part we'll see in the next class. So clinical trial design, what design you are going to implement. The study protocol will be viewed as a, you can say, a written agreement between the investigator. Okay, so investigator will understand ki what research it is because he is going to perform, right? The subject, or you can say with the participants who are involved in the study, because they are one who are going to get tested upon, the drug is going to be tested upon them. The scientific community who are there in the regulatory bodies with the regulate ethics committee, so they will be seeing and understanding the nature and importance of the research. Okay, so in protocol it is, you can say, a defined as a document that describes the background, rational, objective, design, methodological, statistical consideration, and organization where you are going to conduct a trial. Everything will be there. Like what environment in organization means what geographical location you are going to take. Okay, so it will serve as a reference document that describe why the trial is being conducted, how should it be executed, and what is to be done in any kind of eventuality. Okay, so in protocol everything will be there in that. In case of any amendments to the protocol, the same should be like we have to first get approval from ethics committee or IRB. Okay, they will review and then they will approve the your protocol, and then only you can amend it. Okay, you have to follow the new amended one. Okay, now appendix 10 of schedule Y, that is the schedule why we have certain rules and regulation. We have regulations like appendices we have. So this will see in detail what it is in schedule Y. Okay, so for basically it is the current regulations which we have to follow. Schedule Y is a regulation which we follow in India. So schedule Y, the current regulator, CDSCO, Central Drug Standard Organization, they have established this guideline under this Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1945, which have provided the guidelines regarding the content of a clinical trial protocol, means how the protocol should be there. So appendix 10 is the protocol, you can say, in schedule Y. Okay, so what contents, what are the requirements should be there in the protocol, they have stated that. Okay, so protocol should, whatever the protocol we are making, they have to provide right amount of detail is necessary for the readers or who is reading it, and they are able to understand what is the need to conduct a study. Okay, like if we say ki blood pressure measurement should be described in more detail in a protocol for a hypertension study. Okay, where it is a primary efficacy parameter, then in the protocol with the another disease area. Okay, where BP is assayed as a part of general assessment and safety check. You are doing the hypertension drug, so this is the basic parameters. So it has to be stated in the clear sentence. Okay, so we'll see in detail what are the contents of a clinical trial protocol. So it is generic to every trial basically. Okay, now who composes the protocol? Compose means who in the it will be made by the sponsor. Okay, it is, don't get confused. Okay, so it is a responsibility. Now you are the sponsor, might be few of the sponsor, it is not necessary ki every time sponsor is from the medical background. Okay, it is not important. Like Reliance is not ki they are from the medical background. Okay, Reliance is life science, is not the people who they are not from the medical background, but they have the team who will be working with the things. Okay, now Reliance Life Science is not a it is not any kind of pharmaceutical company, that is a CRO. If suppose it is just an example that we are taking. Okay, some sponsor which have they will have a team. Now it is a responsibility of sponsor to provide the protocol to the investigator, but it will be made They have a team in that. They will have a medical expert. They will have a pharmacokinetic expert. They will be have a statisticians. There will be a research coordinator. Many people will be there, which they will provide an inputs, and this medical writer will draft it. Okay, like you are running a company. Company will have many people in there. Every people will have different responsibility. Suppose they have a product, so providing ki how this product will work and what will be the guidelines, inputs will be provided by different people and it will be written by some writer. Okay, so it is a responsibility of sponsor to ensure ki protocol has to be made in the correct way with all the parameter. It has to get verified with the regulatory authority, and then he provide it to the he or she provide it to the investigator. Okay, and then it is assured that the investigator should perform the clinical research as per protocol. Okay, he should be compliant with the protocol. Understood till this much? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, who some if in questions if it is asked, who is responsible for making a protocol? Who write the protocol? Who should provide a protocol? So it is always the sponsor. Okay, not the investigator, not the medical expert. Okay, what is a protocol synopsis? Now synopsis is what, you can say a protocol summary it is. Okay, so a protocol is a roadmap. In order to have a clear roadmap at a glance for a general sense of direction, the investigator required a relevant synopsis, which is like a summary of an original protocol. Okay, so when we talk about detailed things, okay, so what happened when as a sponsor you keep yourself in the place. You will go to some sponsors ki, yes, you will meet some sponsor ki, yes, this is my product and I want to do the clinical research. First they will see the summary, means headings. They will see ki what is the aim and what is the things you are going to do in the research. Okay, based on that, if they are interested, then they will go the detailed review of the protocol. Okay, so at a glance, they will see the summary. So in this summary, it is, you can say, a 2 or pages long. It could be. It should give the reader to give sufficient information to understand the rationale of the trial, the objective of the trial, the methods of the trial, what method is being used to achieve the particular objectives. Okay, it should be containing like title. It should have like what gender you are focusing, what sample size you are taking, what age group you are taking, what are like socioeconomic background people or health status you are taking, what geographical location of a subject you are more consider, what duration the study will take. Okay, what will be the primary and secondary outcome to measure. So what clinical design or what parameters you are going, what phases you are going to study. So it will have everything in that in summarized way. Okay, understood? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
okay, so after the summary, what is a template? Template means the outlines. Okay, outlines are the template. So it will have a title page, signature page, background information, objective, study design, study population, subject confidentiality, then informed consent, literature review, supplements. So it will have like a template, like template for everything. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you getting what is template? Like resume ka template you have. Based on that, you fill the information. Okay. You will have your name, your address ka column, then your
Yes, ma'am.
education qualification, your experience, everything will be there. Similarly, in the protocol template, all the information has to be filled. Okay. So we'll see what is there in the template. First is the general information, that is your summary. Okay. Next will be the background information. So background information means you can say according to this background information, you will be able to justify the need for the research. Okay. You will have all the information regards to the trial aim, what are the background and what are the trial aim, what will be the uh, consideration when doing this research. Okay, So what IP summarization, like non-clinical information, what will the risk benefit, everything will be there in the background information. Okay. Then we have trial objective and purpose. Like what will be the aim of your trial? Okay. What is the objective of the trial will be there in this. Next is your trial design. So what kind of pattern you are going to follow? Like we have different, if you are doing the observation study, so we have different type of explanation over there. Okay. If you are following the experimental design, you are doing some intervention, you are giving to the subject. So different design we have. Okay. What you are doing the randomization, what technique you are going to do. So everything will be there in the trial design. Okay. Then we have selection and withdrawal of a subject. So what will be the inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, like age group? Age group, suppose we want to take 18 to 35 years. Okay. So below that and above that will be your exclusion or inclusion criteria. Okay. Then treatment of subject. So how you are going to administer the subject if they are like before the trial, which we have to give some drugs. So it is written in that protocol. Okay. And after the trial, how you are going to medicate them, what kind of in emergency situation, what medication could be given, everything will be mentioned in that protocol. How you will do the assessment of safety and efficacy. Okay. If adverse event happens, so how to do the follow up, everything will be mentioned in the protocol. Then statical analysis. So what kind of analysis, how you are going to do the analysis, statical analysis means graph through chart. You have to analyze the data, ki how much the patient is getting cured, at what duration they are getting cured, what are the drug concentrations. So there are different parameters we do in the statistics. Okay. Then sponsor should ensure that these protocol and other agreement should get verified, and it is important for investigator ki they have to give the permit to this ethics committee, to the audit team, to monitor team, to get inspected, to get audited time to time. Okay, they have a direct access to the all the documents. Then next is your quality control and quality assurance. To maintain the quality in the system, so from the beginning to the end of the trial. So we have to provide the assurance of a good clinical practices, quality of data, and refer to the monitors and assessor how they are going to do in every aspect. So comes over there. Ethics is related to the ethical use, ethics related to safety and well-being of a subject, how to verify the subject if you are recruiting or screening the subject. First, we have to get approval, okay, from the ethics committee ki, yes, this is the pattern we are going to recruit the patient. Okay, every time there is an audit and inspection from the ethics committee, it has to be done. If someone is violating the protocol, so either they have to inform to the ethics committee, yes, this violation happened, or if they are deviated, so it has to be clarified to the ethics committee. Okay, so it is very important when this trials is being done in the developing countries. Okay, so next is a financial insurance and publication policies. They have separate agreements in that. Okay, it is not there in the protocol. Okay, so this is way how protocol is being designed. Okay, now type of clinical trial design is the like if it is intervention, suppose we are giving intervention, or drug therapy or any kind of medication, so it become an intervention. Observation is what you are observing, you are not giving any medication. Okay, suppose in the protocol it is written intervention. So if yes, intervention, so it will have an experimental study. You have, if now based upon your disease condition, you have to random allocation. If you have number of population more, so you will do the randomization and then you will have a design, different design you will have. We'll study in next class. If it is no, so non-randomized control trial you have to do. Means you have to give a sample to the subject and you have to analyze the outcome. Okay. Now, if it is observation study, so if you have comparison group, so it becomes an analytical study. You have to like what kind of exposure and what kind of outcome you want to study becomes your uh, like uh, yeah, observation study. I think we have discussed cohort study, case control, and cross section. We'll see more detail in the next class. Okay. So it is type of observational study which we follow. We have to see the exposure or outcome, exposure and outcome at the same time. Okay. Now, if we don't have, we have to do the descriptive study like epidemiological study or literature review. It becomes a descriptive study. Okay. So this becomes your protocol, how it you design a study. Okay, in this protocol. Okay. This is not very important. Okay. It is just an explanation so of what it is. Now, this is the you can say sample of protocol. Okay, so everything is there. The estimated population is written, single group assessment, actual start date is there. Okay, when it is going to be finished. Okay, sponsor is some Singapore company. General Hospital is some sponsor site or some sponsor company. Okay, then co-investigator, investigator name will be there in this. Okay, outcome will be measured. Okay. Now in protocol outcome, when we do the clinical trial, we have only two outcome we have to study, either the primary or the secondary outcome. Okay. We don't take so many endpoints in the study. Okay. Now life cycle of a protocol. First, we have to create a protocol for sponsor end. It is created by the sponsor end. Then it is submitted to the regulatory body. Regulatory body and ethics committee review the protocol. Based on that, they will give a green flag. Yes, you can do the clinical trial activation. It get activated. Okay. Now we start conducting the clinical trial, and it is being observed, and all the data is being collected, reported, analyzed, and then after that, publication is being done as per the protocol, and then finally, as per the protocol, we have to close it. So this is all cycle, and every parameter you will find a protocol, and according to protocol, the cycle works. Okay, so here we have finished with the protocol design. Okay, so any question you have? Yes. Do you have any questions? Yes. Any questions? Any doubt? Any query?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay, okay. Fine. So, hope everything has been clear to you, right? Just go back and revise everything, okay? And then we can meet in the next class, right? Okay, okay,
Okay, ma'am.
Archana. Okay, everyone. Bye and have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am.
Subhashri. Thank you. Bye.